Okay, so here we go for episode 5. This is the last episode where we're going to be replacing any parts. We've nearly got a complete project. We've just got to do the synthesizer tracks, and then we can move on to the other things that we need to do, such as adding effects, working on stereo field, and doing the fade out at the end, that kind of thing. So our synth tracks, we have 3 of them, and one of them, again, much like the guitar tracks, we're not going to touch, and it's this one here. This one with barely anything on it. It just comes in at bar 25. Okay, it's the most complex of the tracks, even though it only plays a little bit. It'd be the hardest one to recreate in a nice way. And there's plenty of technique in the 2 other tracks for us to be able to show what we're going to do. So the first one we're going to replace is this track, which is again the one that comes in at the beginning. Okay, now if that seems familiar, it is, because it's almost exactly the same notes as the top layer of the guitar part that we recorded, this one. Okay, so we're going to do some copying and pasting. But before we can do that, we need a track and we need a sound. Now, I've already been through and I have found this sound, he says, as nothing comes up. There we go. If you type Canadian into the search bar with sounds selected, synth keys appears, and Canadian keys, drag that down onto a new track. Now we want our pinks to match, so what pink are we on? We're on the one from the end. Let's go with that. I'm going to put that up here. There we go, and expand that. Now if I arm that track and solo that track, and I play something on the keyboard, and I put it up a bit, you can hear that that is a pretty good match for the sound. But we're not going to use the keyboard. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to select the header on that guitar slides track. We're going to copy it in the usual way, which is Control or Command C, and then I'm going to paste it into there. I'm going to change the color while I'm here. There we go, and then I'm going to listen to that. Okay, there's one major thing wrong with that, which is that we need to take out the slides, because you remember we spent all that effort putting these in. We don't have those in the same way on here, so I'm just going to, oops, what's going on here? Looks different from normal. Is it because I'm on right? Yes, it is. Okay, so making sure I'm off right mode, and I'm just going to take out the top points. Actually made that far more complicated than it needs to be. Just take out the top of the 2 triangles so that you've now got a clean track. Okay, but also there are some extra notes as well, which we're going to pencil in really simply. Okay, now they go on top of other notes, so they're really, really easy to find. So I actually need to put pencil back on or draw back in. And the first extra note that we're going to need goes over the top of the 3rd note, okay, and it's an E, right, an E4. So I'm just going to pencil that in, and I'm going to stretch it out so it's the same length as the C sharp just below it. And there's also a B above this G sharp, so if I go up here to B3, pencil that in, whoops, and again pull it out so it's a similar sort of length, and that gives us this. Okay, and that is our first synthesizer track. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy it and paste it in a number of times, bearing in mind, let's give me a bit more space, bearing in mind that there are these times where the last couple of notes don't happen, so I'm going to watch out for those. Here we go, here's the first one. You can see they're missing from there, so I'm going to double click into there. I'm going to take out the last, well, yeah, the 3 notes at the end. There we go. Then I start pasting in again. Shut this just to give myself some space. There's the next instance of that by the looks of it. Yep, so go in, take out those 3 notes at the end, and then keep pasting along. And like the guitar part, we're going to go a little bit further because it keeps going. And we're going to have a fade out during this period. So I'm just going to go a little bit longer. And now this track, the original of that, can go. We've still only got 12 tracks total being used. Like I said, might need to do some duplication later. But let's have a little listen to that.
When I was young, I fell in love. We used to old aunts, man, that was enough. Then we grew up, started to touch. Used to kiss underneath the light on the back of the bus. Oh no, your daddy didn't like me much, and he didn't believe me when I say you were the one. Oh, every day she found a way out of the window to sneak out late. She used to meet me on the east side of the city where the sun.
Nice, I'm happy with that. And next job, of course, is going to be to screenshot and write up what we have just done. So let's pull down Ableton and get our write-up back in again. Duplicate those last 2 slides. Take out the screenshot that we've had before, put in the one that we've just done. Line it up. This will be screenshot 15. Here I am replacing one of the synth tracks. Not all of the synth tracks are suitable for replacement in the DAW, but 2 are. The main synth part and the synth bass part. I found a suitable sound. Called Canadian Keys, I think it was called. Let me just double check that. Canadian Keys, yes it was. Found a suitable sound called Canadian Keys, and the notes are nearly identical to the upper guitar part that I just created. So I copied this and added 2 extra notes which appear in the part. I then copy and pasted this again and again to create loops, making sure to leave out notes in certain places to match the original. Okay. Nice, that will do nicely. Let's put that back up there on my other monitor. Okay, so that's the first of the synth tracks that we're going to deal with, and the last synth track, or the last part that we're going to deal with is one of my favourite bits of the song. Actually, it's this. Okay. It is one of my favourite bits of the song. It's one of the hardest bits to play in, and it needs to be done on the MIDI keyboard, so it's just going to take a little bit of practice. Now there is a sound which matches really, really nicely. If you type in Reese, you'll see this sound, Reese Odyssey, that one there. I like that a lot, and it's going to work really nicely for what we're doing here. So I'm going to create a new track. Okay, and I'm going to put it underneath that bass track, and I'm going to colour it accordingly because it's a synth track, so it matches. Oops, that's the wrong pink. It's that one there. So it matches our old track, and I'm going to solo both of those so we can hear that. Okay, now the pattern, we're going to need to make sure we're in the right place on the keyboard. So clearly at the moment, much too high. go. So there we go. I think we need to go down one more actually. Yeah, we do. That's right. So I'm actually on the orange setting on down. I've pressed down twice. I think that is, yes, to make it go orange. And actually, I need to remind myself of the pattern. Okay, so that is quite fiddly. It's this. Okay, it's spread out quite far. I'm doing it in two hands to make it easier to see. So the crucial thing is the first two notes are both F sharps. Okay, so go. Then the bottom note changes to an E. Top note changes to an A. Okay, so we get then C sharp. Sorry, D. C sharp, D, E. Right, so it's quite a fiddly little pattern. Let me do that again. Okay, but it does sound really good, and it does sound really similar to what we originally had on that track. So I'll just show you one more time slowly. Okay, that's the pattern and that's the loop that we're going to create. Now you might need a lot of attempts at that, right? You might need to spend some time practicing. You can see I hadn't played it for since I practiced to make this video, and it had gone out of my head. So it's just a fiddly little pattern. The crucial thing is starting on the F sharps, right? So I'm going to record that track now. Did it wrong, okay? That's not a problem because we can just do it again. One of the joys of sequencing. Need to concentrate. Okay, I had the original one playing at the same time. You could hear that they fitted together quite nicely. We're going to need to quantize that. Okay, so as before, I'm going to double click or right click. I'm going to go to quantize, and that's going to go in beat for me. Let me just check it's correct. Keep it on solo. Okay, now I'm going to be a bit more precise with this than I have with some of my other editing, because these synths, when you hold down notes, okay, you can hear the tone of the sound changes quite a lot. So what you need to make sure is that you haven't got anything overlapping on the screen. So they've all quantized nicely in time, but we have got some overlapping, and that's making things sound a little bit strange. And you can see the velocities here have done something a little bit weird. Okay, so let's fix that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it nice and neat and tidy. So I'm going to make sure we know that the starts of the notes are all in the right place. So I'm going to extend out the end, or the durations of the notes, to match up with the start of the notes. And in some cases, I'll need to pull them back. This one, for example, this D1 goes on for too long. So I'm going to pull it back so it finishes before the C sharp 0 starts. And that's good attention to detail, and will mean that we don't get anything funny going on. Now, this velocity, I'm just going to edit this slightly as well. Okay, now when you record it, you might not get this. You might get much more precise. You might get much less precise, but this is a good opportunity to tidy things up. Let's check this. Okay, there's still a little bit of a slide between the C sharp 0 and the D1. To get rid of that, I'm just going to open up a little more of a gap between them. That's it. Is that last one in the right place? Hang on. Yeah, it is. That's fine. Just making sure that's all good. I've just looked in horror actually and noticed that all of that copy and paste that I did has still come out as basic electric sound because that's what we copied it from, which is a bit of a shame, but it doesn't matter. But we're all right for the Odyssey track now. Anyway, so I'm going to make this exactly the right length, and then I'm going to copy it. And again, like the other tracks, you can see there's some times where the last couple of notes don't happen. So it looks like the last 3 notes to me. So I'm going to take that out on the last one. What's going on? Oh, I'm not on draw mode. That's why. Click on that, get rid of that, get rid of that. Ableton's a bit fussy sometimes. Let's check that. And then we can put this back in again, which is great. Paste, 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 and it looks like they finish together, which is fantastic. And that's done. Okay, that's done really quite nicely. So let's take out the original track that we did. There we go. And now we should have our finished version. We should have all the tracks that we need all nicely programmed in. So let's have a listen to our 1 minute's worth of project. I might do some scrolling up and down so you can see what's going on. How's it sounding? So you can hear our guitar tracks nicely working with our synth track and the original vocal.
Used to old aunts, man, that was enough. Then we grew up, started to touch, used to kiss underneath the light on the back of the bus.
Here comes the bass.
Your daddy didn't like me much, and he didn't believe me
Those
when
little
I
slides
said
in there, that's good.
every day, she found a way out of the window.
Here comes that bass part and the drums.
On the east side of the city where the sun don't set. And every day you know that we ride through the back streets of a Corvette. Baby, you know I just wanna leave tonight. We can go anywhere we want. Drive down to the coast, jump in the sea. Just take my hand and come with me, yeah. We can do anything if we put our minds to it. Take your whole life, then you put a line through it. My love is yours if you're willing to take it. Give me your heart, 'cause I ain't gonna break it.
Okay, sounds pretty good apart from this bass part. I'm worried I've put one of them in the wrong place. It's just sounding a bit off to me. Hang on a tick. Need that track on solo. I was worried about it when I heard it last time. I think that's early. Could be wrong. Yeah, it is early. So I'm going to need to mend that. And then fix the overlaps in the same way I did before. That's early too. So move that back one. This is great attention to detail. Early too. Yep, it is. And now that's too long. And I've changed it to the wrong mode. Oh, it's going well, isn't it? There we go. That's better. Now I'm going to have to redo this copy and paste as a result because it wasn't a loop. It's only changed the first one, so I need to put them back in again. But it's okay, I can put it in my write-up. Take out last 3 notes. sure there was another. Oh, hang on, I've copied the wrong one. See, it just goes to show anyone can make mistakes. If you're really eagle-eyed, you might have noticed I'm recording this on a Sunday evening at 8:10 rather than my usual recording time, which is on a early in the morning. Makes a difference, it seems. Should be another occasion of this. Not sure what's happened. Hang on a second. Where's the other one where the notes are missing? I've done that one. No, maybe I'm imagining things. Here we go. Oh, of course, it was before it comes in.
And every day you know that we ride through the back streets of a Bucor, yeah. Baby, you know I just wanna leave tonight. We can go anywhere we want. Drive down to the coast, jump in the sea. Just take my hand and come with me, yeah. We can do anything if we put.
Okay, so that's thrown the balance off quite a bit in the rest of the song, but we're not worried about that because that's one of the things we're going to look at next. In terms of what we've got recorded, we've got a high quality version of what's going on, but of course we've missed one very important step, which is to write up that bass track. So let's do that now. And that'll be a good screenshot with the editor open actually. So let's take that now. Screenshot 15 becomes screenshot 16. Take that out. Put that in. What am I doing? Here I am replacing the synth bass part. I used a sound called Reese Odyssey. Can't spell Odyssey apparently. I can't spell Reese either. For this, which matches the original version almost perfectly. I played this track on MIDI keyboard because it is quite different from the other patterns, although it uses similar notes. There is some changing of octaves to contend with. And then say what issues I had. I had some problems with this. One with recording the pattern itself, and then some quantization issues where notes jumped to the wrong point in the bar. I didn't realize this error until after I had already copy and pasted it many times, which meant that I had to unpick quite a lot of work that I had already done. However, the final result is worth the effort. Okay, there we go. So 16 screenshots, 16 little bits of write-up, and we've got a good project. Okay, and as I said, that is the end of the inputting section. We've got 12 tracks. Now, I'm just wondering if maybe we can do the stereo work without combining any tracks. I don't know. We'll see in the next video. It could be that we need to combine some, like we did with the red track that we completed right at the beginning of the project to make some space, or it could be that we manage to do it without. We shall see when we get there. But for the time being, a reminder to write up as you are going along, and I shall see you in the next episode when we start to talk about stereo field.